What is up, you guys? It's Monty. As you can see, it's like gross and rainy, but I'm gonna go to the library because I have those 4 books that I finished for my 24-hour readathon situation, so they can go back to the library. In good news, the replacement part for the ring light came in, so hopefully when I update tonight and I sit in front of my bookshelves, it won't be at... I need to dust my car. Every time I come in here and do a little update moment, I can see the dust particles and it bothers me in editing. Anyway, so the replacement part came in, so I'll be back in front of my bookshelves. No more awkward lighting like it was last night. No more standing in front of the television. That was foolishness. So that's done. I have not started listening to On Rotation, but I did read the last little bit of Love in the Time of Serial Killers, and this book really could have been good. If this was just women's fiction, it could have been good. My issue is that it's a romance, and as a romance, I think it fails, which isn't surprising when you read the reviews. Like, this book is very, I don't know if it's polarizing, but like, people who seem to get it, and the girls who don't, and I'm with the girls who don't, because Phoebe, I wanted to like Phoebe. I like her as a protagonist. I like her for what she's doing in the world, you know, out here writing about these true crime, analyzing its relationship with people. I'm going to leave a link in the cards to my girl, Princess Weeks, because she has a video essay on true crime. Princess Weeks has been out here in the YouTube streets for forever. I think of her as a friend in my head. I'm Wendy Williams like that. But like, I've just been watching her for so long. She's put out so many good content, so much good content, so much. So I love her. Side tangent. So I really liked Phoebe because she was like really analyzing true crime in a way that I thought was like really entertaining. And it wasn't just like people who are murdered. There was conversations about white collar crime being brought in, and like how we tell those stories versus stories about people who've been murdered. And when we are telling people stories about who were murdered, like who is the person telling it. There was a lot of good content around that. And there's been like this wave. I know that people like to say that Ali Hazelwood is like the STEM girly, but I think that also ushered in this wave of just like general like student romances. So you had like people like Maisie Eddings, who gave us the dentist book, which was not good, but we got it. Then we got this one where she's like an English major, you know, trying to get a PhD writing about true crime. And so like, I do like that. I do like that, even if like, for better or worse, whatever Ali Hazelwood is out here doing, I do like this wave of women who are pursuing their academic lives. Even I guess Honey Girl to a degree was like that. I like that wave. I like the wave. Not every book in the wave is for me, but I do like this setup. And I like the setup here where we had Phoebe and her neighbor Sam, but Sam wasn't a neighbor that she had growing up. Sam was someone who had moved to the neighborhood. And so when she was going back to pack up her father's house, like, he was not part of her childhood. And so while like neighbor romance I feel is pretty common, I do think that it still hit that strangers to lovers. Now, I don't like their meet cute. I think it's weird if you're if your meet cute is I met you outside your house at 2 o'clock in the morning after you just drove 10 hours to come unload your dead father's house. That's not a meet cute to me, but that's what we got here. And I don't like how this book ends. I don't like Sam as a love interest. Sam as a love interest was entirely more invested in Phoebe. And because this is a single perspective, I don't understand why. I don't understand why. It was giving obsessive. Like, this is another wave that's been happening, I think, in romance. I think because to be a romance, and the way that romance readers on the internet are going to call your book a romance, you have to give us a happy for now, or you have to give us a happily ever after. And there have been a number of books I read this year, like Yerba Buena, where I was hesitant to call it a romance, 7 Days in June, where I was hesitant to call it a romance, this book I'm hesitant to call romance, all because I think they are trying to be the formula. And so it's hard for me because I'm using the formula, like I'm using that same rubric to apply to stories where I want the happy for now, I think, or I want the happy ever after, but I think it's the ever after that's tripping up these people. I think that they're trying to give us an ever after when I would like a for now. I think a for now allows me to believe that these characters are going to grow into one another and continue to choose to be with one another. But this was fucking foolishness where y'all meet at 2 o'clock in the morning. She's very wary of the man. They go to a party at his house because her brother's like, hey, we should just go over. Her brother was the highlight. Her brother and Shawnee, they should have been the stars of this book. I understand that Shawnee and Connor already had a pre-existing relationship and they had already been dating prior to the start of this book, but we were just meeting them. And their romance was actually the one I was rooting for. Nothing in this surprised me about where it played out. I mean, I kind of assumed like everywhere that Connor and Shawnee were going to go, they went, but it was still good. I liked Connor as a character. He was giving golden retriever. If you're going to have a book, I think that your love interest should have golden retriever energy and not creeper outside my house at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then what really killed me is, so they went to the party, they had the 2 o'clock in the morning meetup, they had a thing at the library, and she helped him with the stray cat that entered her house, and then they were fucking. And then he helped, Sam helped plan Connor's, they did a flash mob so he could propose to Shawnee, which was really cute. But again, like, these are cute moments for a completely separate couple in the book. There are no cute moments like that for Phoebe and Sam. The cute moments all go to Connor and Shawnee, where everything is relating to, like, all the real cute moments in this book are Connor trying to plan his proposal to his girlfriend. So there's like a moment at the skating rink where he he fractures his wrist. He has a flash mob sequence at a park. But what the flash mob sequence is where we go off the rails. So by the time they're at the flash mob sequence, it's been maybe a month and they fucked once. And so Sam is a teacher. He teaches music education at the school, which I think is very cute. I love that for him. I always had fond memories of my elementary school music teachers, so I love that he was an elementary school music teacher, even though he was kind of giving me creepy vibes. Not in like he gonna diddle the kids vibes, but just like he is a weirdo outside someone's house at 2 o'clock in the morning vibes. Anyway, one of the kids comes up to him after the flash mob, and the kid sees that Sam and Phoebe are talking together. They're kind of flirting a little bit, and he's like, oh, are you two getting married too? And Sam was like, maybe one day. And it's like, y'all have not talked. And this sends Phoebe into a spiral, because Phoebe is not a person who like really opens up to people. She's not somebody who is like really putting herself out there like that. She did not come to Florida. She did not come back to Florida to put down roots. She decided that she was going to come back, pack up the house. And mind you, she's packing up this house months after the death. It's not like this man just died like last Tuesday. He died in January, and it's kind of the summer months. So the house has been sitting vacant for like 6 months by the time she gets there. So this is something that it takes her a long time to process things, which I think is reasonable. I don't think anybody would just be take it back. There are some people who would probably fly out in January and start packing it up. But this is also the parent that she was not close to, because when her parents got divorced, she went to live with her mother, and her brother Connor stayed there. So both Connor and Phoebe have both been putting this off because this is not something they're ready to do. And here comes Sam, after fucking her one time and having 3 conversations, talking about maybe someday we're going to get married. And this sends her into a spiral. And then she starts to feel bad for the spiral. And people in her life are making her feel bad for the spiral. And it's like, why though? Like, why would she want to marry this man when she brings up very valid points that they don't know anything about each other? He doesn't know her middle name. He doesn't know her favorite color. Like, he knows that she's a big girl and she likes to get fucked, but like, that's all he knows, talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna marry you. And as the reader, we are not seeing them being invested in the relationship, because all of the cute romantic moments are going to Connor and his girlfriend. So this doesn't work as a romance. Eventually we get an epilogue where she is also like moving full circle. There's a chapter at the end of the book where she's going to defend her dissertation. And so she's like going down to get Connor to come up, and Connor's girlfriend, well now fiance, to come up and watch it. And she goes to apologize to Sam. And it's just like, y'all are not going to work out. Like, Phoebe and Sam, if I were to make a list, like, I know it was really popular earlier in the year for the romance girlies. There were like tier ranking couples to see if they would last. And every time I pick up a traditionally, well, not every time, but so often I pick up a traditionally published romance, and I'm like, y'all are not gonna last. Like, these are characters who are not going to be with one another a year down the line, 2 years down the line, 6 months down the line. Like, I don't see this lasting. So I hate that for me. I don't know if I'm gonna read their next book that's coming out next year, just because if it's another single perspective, I just immediately want to DNF these days. Because even if women are out here writing their heterosexual man being weird, it's still better than shit like this, where the man just feels obsessive and stalkerish. And for the girl who don't like creepy stalkers, is wild that you want me to believe that she's gonna be with him. So that's what I got there. My plan is to go to the library, so I'm gonna return this and a couple of other books that I have in my bag, which also means I'm probably gonna check out some more books. So I'm gonna go, I will check back in. Okay, so I haven't done any reading yet because I'm just now leaving the library, but I thought I would do a little impromptu library haul because I do plan on reading all of these at some point this week, maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed. Anyway, got Real Easy by Marie Rudkowski. I checked this out earlier in the year. Never read it. We're checking it out again. Will I read it? I don't know, hopefully. But this is a crime fiction about a murderer. We're gonna go back and forth. I think there's a strip club involved. I just really like this cover. Really like the cover. So that's why I have been drawn to this all year. Then I have Someday Maybe, which is the story of a woman whose husband dies, and we get to see her and her family coming together, healing, processing, everything I think that we didn't get in the other books I read this year. Really, the only reason I have this checked out is because it's blurbed by Bolu Babalola, who wrote Honey and Spice, and that was a romance. Now, that was a romance. Bolu knew what she was doing, okay? She knew what she was doing over there. And then the last two are books that I have that feel like they have a very similar premise, but I don't know if they're going to be good. So I have The Decoy Girlfriend by Lily Vale and The Stand-In by Lily Chu, both of which feature regular people who look like famous people being brought in. This I know is a romance. This, I don't know if it's a romance or not, or she's just here to help out this person that she looks like, but they have similar premises. Will I read them in the same day? Probably not, because this book is 307 pages with the acknowledgments, and this book is, oh, there's like cute stuff at the back. Anyway, this ends on page 361. So, this don't look like 361 pages. This feels much more chunky, but I guess the words are a normal size. Either way, I don't think they're going to get read on the same day. They're definitely not getting read today. There goes the fucking dust. Anyway, they're not getting read today, but they will be read at some point. So I got these two. And that's it. I returned 4 books. I checked out 4 books. Feels even. You know, the universe is in balance. Yeah, that's as good as this webcam is going to look. But I did a little cleaning. I'm back again here to update you guys because I have listened to 27% of On Rotation. This book is a little bit different than what I thought it was. I thought Homegirl was like an established doctor. So I'm going to go to Goodreads. I'm just going to read you guys a synopsis. So, according to Goodreads, this is for fans of Grey's Anatomy. Check. And 7 Days in June. Y'all know I didn't like that book. I don't think that's correct so far. This dazzling debut by Shirlene Abubi explores the time in your life when you must decide what you want, how to get it, and who you are, all while navigating love, friendship, and the realization that the path you're traveling is going to be a bumpy ride. Ghanaian American Angela Abaya has checked off all of the boxes for the perfect immigrant daughter. Enroll in an elite medical school, snag a suitable lawyer / doctor / engineer boyfriend, surround yourself with a gaggle of successful and or loyal friends. But then it quickly falls apart. Her boyfriend dumps her. That was like literally page 1. Dumps her. She bombs the most important exam of her medical career. That was page 2. And her best friend pulls away. That's like page 30. And her parents, whose approval seems to hinge on how closely she follows the path they chose, are a lot less proud of their daughter. It's a quarter-life crisis of epic proportions. Angie, who has always faced her problems by working twice as hard to get half as far, is at a loss. Suddenly, she begins to question everything: her career choice, her friendships, even why she's attracted to men who don't love her as much as she loves them. And just when things can get any more complicated, enter Ricky Gutierrez. This man.
Brilliant, thoughtful, sexy, and most importantly, seems to see Angie for who she is instead of what she can represent. Unfortunately, he's also got Waste Man practically tattooed across his forehead, and Angie's done tasting mirages of men, or so she thinks. For someone who's always been in control, Angie realizes that there's one thing she can't plan on: matters of the heart. Here's the thing. So the book starts off, she's getting dumped by her lawyer boyfriend, and you're kind of a little bit heartbroken for her. She's a little real sad because we find out that she is not only being dumped by her boyfriend, she's being dumped by her boyfriend on a very special day because it's the day her sister's boyfriend is trying to ask for her hand in marriage. And so I was like, damn, your little sister's gonna get married, and here you, it's one of those books, like, and here you are, can't keep a man. But it's okay because, you know, she leaves her little family's house and she's like, I'm going to go to this little festival over in Pilsen. I think it was in Pilsen, somewhere in Chicago, one of the little neighborhoods. And so she's like, I'm going to go to this little art festival and I'm going to have a good time and it's going to be better. And it's in this little art festival that she meets Ricky. Now, what the synopsis doesn't tell you is Ricky is not single. Ricky is not saying he is not on the market. And so we're watching Angela and Ricky have like this really cute meet cute. They meet at a park. He draws her. They have this little back and forth. It's all fun. And at the end of it, he gets her this little Water Tribe necklace because they're both bonding over being Avatar fans. And then it's like, yeah, I have a girlfriend. And she's like, the fuck? Rewind it back, please. Rewind it back, please, sir. And he's like, yeah, I have a girlfriend. And it doesn't stop there because her roommate, she's living with her roommate. And her roommate got her tickets to see Beyonce. So now the whole friend group is rolling up to the Beyonce concert. And who is there? No, she's helping this girl in the bathroom with like her eyeliner. And they have this little bonding moment. And she's like, oh, thank you so much for helping me. Like, I can't believe you guys did this for me. Can I come like hang out with y'all in your little where you guys are seated? And the girls are like, yeah, come with us, girl, we got you. And they're going back, and who has Angela helped in the bathroom but Ricky's girlfriend. So this book is good. It's a good time. Earlier this year, I read Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola, and I had a really fun time with it. And the entire time I was reading it, I was like, how come the Americans can't get this? How come when I try to read the little American ones, the little American like romance, the black people, it'd be trauma, it'd be sadness, it'd be I got shot 37 times and my mother didn't love me and my grandma put me in a bleach bath. It'd be it'd be a lot of that. And so I would like to thank Charlene. I would love to thank Charlene, who is also a Ghanaian American herself. So like, thank you. I'm not Ghanaian, so like I'm not connecting on that level, but I am enjoying the fun, the light. Like, is there some trauma here in terms of like Angela being the daughter who has all the expectations and her younger sister doesn't have the same interactions with her parents as Angela does? Yes, but that's just something that feels like relatable. It doesn't feel like, you know, my grandma put me in the beach bath or whatever. So I'm having a good time. I'm only 27% in, but you know, I'm gonna hold on to hope that this is gonna be a banger of a book. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying how messy it is. I'm enjoying the fun, and I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna stay enjoying the fun for as long as I can enjoy it. What is up, you guys? It's Monty. I'm back here today in front of the bookshelves to wrap up today's vlog. I am not done with this book, but I do have it open in a tab over here. I am at 56% allegedly. I think on my phone it's 60. So the Libby website might be a little off, but I'm, you know, 2/3 of the way into this book. I'm having a wonderful time. Is this as good as Honey and Spice? No, I don't think that I'm as invested in Angie and Ricky as I was in Malachi and Kiki. I think those are the names. I think I'm getting that correct. But it is good. I do think that this book is doing a couple of things that other people could see as a disservice. I do think that we are getting a lot of like what it means to be in med school, which I appreciate, but I don't know if the world appreciates. You know what I mean? Like, I'm having a good time with it, but I do think that there are times where Angie is like breaking the fourth wall because this is in first person. And she's like breaking the fourth wall to explain things to the reader that I appreciate. I think is fun, but I could understand other readers being like, girl, just stop it. It doesn't happen often, but anytime something is happening with her med school stuff, we get an explanation. Right now, so I went into this book thinking she was already a doctor. She was already, Angie MD. That is not the case. She is in her third year of med school. And so, like, right now, she's like, I guess part of the process is going through all these different specialties. Then you have a test about the specialty you were just in. And based on those tests is going to like kind of determine what happens when you graduate from medical school and what happens when you're trying to find a residency after, which I'm appreciating. So we're getting to see her in like different environments, which I think is fun because it's not just like, oh, she's a heart surgeon. So like every day she's going in and doing heart surgery. So like we've seen her do pediatrics, we've seen her do obstetrics. Right now, I think she's doing internal medicine. So it's fun. It's different. It's like it's giving us a little spice. We are getting to see a little bit more of like Ricky and like what's happening with her, with him. We are also getting some drama with our main character Angie and her best friend, because her best friend is like, girl, I know everything about you and I'm keeping up to date with what's happening in your life, but you are just kind of leaving me high and dry. You are not doing, like, you're not reciprocating. And so we get some stuff there. This is one of the few times where I think I want to call it like a Honey and Spice, because Honey and Spice is a single perspective that worked for me, and this is a single perspective that's working for me as well. Like, I don't think that On Rotation is going to be a favorite of the year, but part of me is, I checked this book out physically maybe in February. I don't know when, but at some point this year, I definitely had the physical copy of this book, and I am kicking myself for waiting until December 19th to pick it up, because I think that was a foolish move on my part. So y'all should read it. I definitely think it's a book that should be read. I think that it is one that is good, one that is slept on a little bit. It is also, I am bearing the lead, it is another HarperCollins title. So like the actual ethics of me talking about it on this channel are dubious, but I think we've established I'll be crossing the picket line because I don't understand. I don't get it. If somebody in the comments wants to explain to me like why we're not reviewing them, like I understand the union has asked, but if the union is supporting, again, purchasing the book in the first place, I'm not like, I guess like you don't want publicity for it, but like it feels very dirty to not give On Rotation. Like maybe the Paul Tremblay, I could have understood, like Paul Tremblay is like an established author. Like I understand like not talking about Babel. Like R.F. Kuang's an established author. She has another book. She has several book deals already like signed. But like Charlene is just a doctor, like Charlene, this is a date. I think Charlene technically like self-published something when I was on Goodreads. It looked like there was some kind of maybe paranormal thing that they had published as a teenager. But like Charlene out here, she got bills to pay. So I'm gonna talk about this book. So that's the thing that's gonna happen. I am enjoying this a lot more than some of the other books I've read this week, so that's nice. I'm enjoying things again. But that's all I got for you today. I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another little vloggy moment. I'm not doing anything tomorrow. Like today I had to go to the library, but I only will be going to the library tomorrow, so it'll be me in the house. So hopefully I'll be able to make that interesting for y'all, but that's a problem for future Monty.